Unlike in other countries, in Ladakh, the place you're born in has very special connection. We cannot think of moving away. You don't sell your father, your grandmother, so you don't sell your house. We are at the forefront of climate change. First victims. Very soon you all will be victims also.
In a region like Nanskar, all the villages entirely depend on their traditional glaciers or small snowfields. You would always see all these villages below this glacier that has been serving them and been able to cultivate their lands, support a pastoral community, support the cattle for fodder and food. The whole livelihood, existence depended on these traditional glaciers. So what has happened is we couldn't depend on these glaciers anymore in the past 15 years, mainly because snow pattern has been very erratic. So it will snow quite a lot one year and then won't snow for another 3-4 years. You can go to any old person and ask them, okay, what changes have you seen? They would just point right here 100 or 200 meters away and you would say, the glacier in the peak of the summer used to reach till the foot of this mountain and it disappeared in the past 2 decades or 3 decades in their lifetime.
Jombeira tuksanoba.
Fabrita turun teknologi boleh mati tu pa.
Tu ko kawal tango shoko ya.
Bigale. Tahu di mizul kau cing pa.
Tahu le tahu.
Jual kau pergi cek cek sulap.
Mata kan? Tak ada.
Usulnya natural. Ada macam ada you.
Tidak. Ini cerita pas. Ini ramai orang cerita. Siapa pakai campur dengan campur dengan sama dengan. Gak ada ramai orang cerita.
Goma kau tahu ini siapa tu? Itu isu dulu jadi tanjung.
I remember growing up listening to stories from elders about how they used to make artificial glaciers hundreds of years ago. And I never understood, still don't understand how they actually made. It was more like a fairy tale. Much later, one very senior Ladakhi engineer was doing something to freeze water during the winter when people don't need the water so that it can be used in spring and summer, more scientifically than fairy tales. The only problem he was facing was that this would melt too early before the people need it. So he would have to make it very high up in the mountains. When he shared these problems with me, I started working on freezing ice so that it does not prematurely melt. So to shade it was the answer, to shade it from the strong sun, but you can't shade with materials, it won't be practical. So that's when we started using geometry. So we wanted to freeze it like a cone of ice, which would have low surface and high volume. So that's how ice stupas were born.
Ice stupa is something we wanted to experiment in 2019. When we were making it, we were there 4 months straight, and we would go there every morning and come back around 9 or 10 p.m. when it was minus 30. And then sometimes we had to empty 500 meters of pipe because it would freeze. So you have to take out the joints and you have to beat and every inch of the pipe so you get every inch of ice outside the pipes. That would take about 6-7 days and empty it and then join again and then try it again, you know.
It's a tall secret, yeah.
So the idea is to keep the water that is available in winter and nobody uses it because there is no farming till spring and summer when everybody wants water. Now the only way to keep it is frozen, but we don't have pumps or the fuel to run pumps, so we said we'll use gravity. You need not worry about what you don't have, like money and machines and fuel. In the mountains we don't have many things but slopes, and therefore gravity can be a resource. So there is pressure, just like a pump but without a pump. Then you put on that a fountain that makes the water spray into the air. Now it's minus 20 air in winter. Liquid water becomes solid. So it makes a cone of ice, white and conical, just like our old stupas. And stupas are very close to people's hearts because they are like monuments of spirituality. So we'll call it ice stupas.
Stupas are Buddhist symbolic structures. They are conical in shape. In a typical Tibetan stupa, you'll have the base, the center, and then on top you will have another conical structure with moon cradling the sun, which signifies the interdependence of everything else. Day and night, cold and hot. Their existence is dependent on the other. That's how the universe functions.
It's like Buddha saying, desires give you suffering. So the answer is not in fulfilling your desires with materials. The answer is in reducing your desire. Ice stupas are not something to be proud of. This is more like a symbol of our situation, a message to the world of what we are driven to.
So when I look at the Himalayas, I look at it as a source of life and a very vital asset of the world. And that's why it cannot be looked at as a regional issue, a national issue alone, but it should be looked at as an asset of the world.
The solution, I always say, lies with the people in the big cities. Please live simply so that we in the mountains may simply live.
At the end of the day, we are not saving anything else, but we are saving ourselves. Nothing else. The earth will be doing just fine after we have left, Are we able to address a problem that is global, that is universal, and the root of the problem is ourselves? Acknowledging that and coming together to solve that. And today the question is, where has this human evolution come to?